So I just finished installing Smeding Diesel Non-VGT turbo and manifold on this 2009 6.7 Cummins. It was having your classic turbo codes, needed a new turbo, and we decided we were going to go with non-VGT turbo setup in this truck. I'll kind of clip to the install video where I show it laid out on a table just so you can kind of see what it looks like out of the truck. So this is a little bit more than just the kit. So for 1,500 bucks you get this turbo. This is just the standard 62 mil turbo that produces up to about 500 horsepower. It has similar spool times as stock, it's supposed to be a bit better on fuel. But mainly it's not a VGT turbo, so you will have the reliability of a fixed geometry turbo, which is awesome. Comes with this nice two-piece manifold, and then it comes with some goodies here, just to, you know, plug off coolant lines, new exhaust or new gaskets, and you know, that kind of stuff. But anyways, here's what it looks like inside the truck. So you got the new manifold down in there, the turbo's down there. That's just a 62 mil turbo. It's just kind of like the factory replacement size turbo you would go with if you just want to run like close to stock. They say it's good for about 500 horsepower. This customer doesn't want to do anything crazy with his truck or nothing. He just needs it to be reliable, so that's why we got rid of the VGT turbo. The EGR has been removed off this truck. Instead of going with a blocker plate kit, we went with a Smeding Diesel intake elbow. Comes with this nice bracket for your dipstick, and then we went with this coolant reroute hose. The only thing the kit didn't come with was a bracket for the dipstick back there, so I told them that they should include one, and I think they're going to start throwing one in the kit. So I had a FlowPro one kicking around, so that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind, if you're thinking about doing this yourself, you're probably going to want to get a new turbo oil drain, because you got to remove the factory one and then install like an extension and then put it in again. And I destroyed this one pulling it out. They get so seized in there, so that's always a good idea just to buy an extra one, because you're probably going to need it. Obviously, you'll have to tune the truck to run without the VGT turbo. I'll put a link down in the description for tuning. If you need a exhaust or blocker plate kits, I'll put a link for the States. And if you just need tuning, then Dirty Diesel Customs can hook you up. This truck has a 4-inch exhaust with a muffler, well, resonator. Just a little thing in there. And then EFI Live tuning, just a single tune, roughly about 45 horsepower increase. So nothing crazy with this truck. Like I said, just want it to be reliable, good on fuel, and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go drive it now and kind of see how it performs. One of the nice things about this Smeding kit is that for the turbo and manifold, it is only $1,500 US. If you just want to go with the 62 mil. If you want to go a bit bigger turbo or upgrade a few things, you can get up to, I think, around $2,000. But yeah, with the coolant reroute kit, the intake horn, and the turbo and manifold, I think it was like $1,700 US, which is actually quite reasonable. So I haven't driven this truck yet. This is new to me, so I just want to see how it acts with this new turbo. Feels good just driving it off the yard here. Feels really good just driving it. So I do have my scanner with me, and the highlighted one is boost pressure. You'll notice it's at 14 right now. 14 PSI is just atmospheric pressure, so that's what's going to read when basically zero boost. So when it does the reading, we'll have to subtract 14 PSI off of it to kind of see how much boost we're getting, but I'll let you guys know once we drive it here. Well, it's driving very good. Like, I don't know, it feels good. I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't feel like it's a race truck or anything, but it just feels good. So obviously, with running a fixed geometry turbocharger, we don't have an exhaust brake anymore. That is about the only downside, in my opinion, of a fixed geometry turbocharger. Having that exhaust brake is quite nice sometimes, but honestly, for the reliability you get with a non-VGT turbo, I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. So right now it says we're at about 31, 34 PSI, so that's 20 PSI. And I'm at like probably about 3/4 throttle there. Once we get her all nice and warmed up, then we'll maybe do like one full throttle pull and just kind of see what it puts out for boost. But yeah, the drivability of it's really good. It just feels like there's power when you want it. It doesn't feel like it's lagging at all. There's essentially like no turbo lag, I feel, with this setup. We're doing about 120 kilometers an hour. For all you people in the States that are like, who uses kilometers per hour? It's more like who uses miles per hour. 90-some% of the world uses kilometers per hour. So you guys need to figure your shit out, not us. So just driving down the highway at about 110, we're getting 20. So that's 6 pounds of boost just out of cruise. This truck still has the factory air intake. This kit bolts up with everything factory. If you wanted to hear the turbo a little bit more, because I don't really hear a whole lot of turbo whistle, if you want to hear the turbo more, an aftermarket intake might be what you're after. This tune is really good though. I can feel it. It's just everything's running good. Sometimes when you start messing with turbos and changing stuff from stock and you run tuning, it takes a couple tries to get tuned just right, but this just feels really good. We'll roll down the back window and see if we can hear it a little bit. I don't know the audio quality you guys are gonna get from that, but sounds like it Cummins to me. Sounds good. Sounds throaty. I don't know. Cummins sound really good. Actually, all diesel trucks sound good once you get rid of the shitty stock exhaust. One thing I'm really liking about this is that there is like no smoke. Even when I'm kind of just bog it like this, the downshifts, like nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing. There's a tiny little bit of like a mist of black smoke coming out, like a tiny bit when you're really on her. But that's exactly what we look for in a tune. We don't want it to be rolling coal like crazy. I know it looks cool, but there's too many people out there that do it too much and give it a bad name, that it's just best to just get your trucks running efficiently. That's kind of what I think. Get it running efficiently, good on fuel. Don't want to be pissing off some tree huggers. On the highway, it's fairly quiet. You can hear it a bit, but there's not much drone. It's not annoying or anything. It's definitely, like, I wouldn't put any more muffler or sound dampening parts on it. It sounds fine to me. Did a max pull right now. I hit at max. Okay, wow, this truck, it gave her there. It went good. That was a max pull. And I was watching my scanner, and the peak boost was like 49. It was almost at 50 PSI. So if you had 50, subtract 14, that's 36 pounds of boost. Yeah, that's about right. 36 pounds of boost you get out of this thing. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't like doing full throttle with people's trucks that aren't mine, but we had to do one for the video. So that's what that was. This is my favorite place to go to. It's an old highway we don't use anymore, but doesn't look like it's been really plowed, so I don't know how snowy it will be. It's always good to check for leaks after you've been driving it for a bit. Make sure none of this stuff is leaking. Parking it on some dry pavement is always nice because then you can see if any leaks, but it looks top notch, real good. I had my foot on the brake and revved it up a little bit in gear there like I was doing a brake torque, but it's not my truck, so obviously I'm not going to do a brake torque with someone else's truck. But I just wanted to try to get a little bit of turbo spooling there to see if we could hear it. It's pretty quiet, honestly. The turbo, there's not a lot of turbo spool sound. So if that's what you're after, you probably want to go to a bigger turbo. But if you go bigger turbo, then you're probably looking at doing, you know, a fast lift pump, bigger injectors, probably going to want head studs, and the list just goes on from there. Like, where does it stop, right? Then you start doing internals, like valve springs, heavy duty push rods, like it doesn't end. First time we were driving down this highway, I think I was going against the wind, and that's when we were running about 6 pounds boost. Now I'm going with the wind at 100 kilometers an hour, and we're at like 2.5 pounds boost. So yeah, I guess so. Everything's running good, working properly. What the hell is this? You know, I get it, you need to move your stuff, this guy with this forklift, but you don't need to be dead center in the middle of the road. There's a big shoulder on pretty much every road, like big enough for another car on the side. Why doesn't that guy just ride the curb, like ride the edge, you know? And then it makes it a lot safer for the people that are coming, in my opinion. Because when you're doing when you're on a highway that's 100 kilometer an hour speed limit, and that guy's probably doing maybe 30 kilometers an hour max, you know, if you're not paying attention, like, good, that will come up real quick. And at least if he's off to the side, you can kind of just swerve out of the way a little bit. If he's right in front of you, good luck getting out of the way if you don't notice in time. But that's just my 2 cents. And a little more about this Smeding kit. The install went quite well. I had no issues with fitment with anything. Everything fit up and fit and bolted up where it was supposed to. So overall, I was quite impressed, given the price point of it. If there are any updates down the road, I'm sure this guy will let me know, and then I will let you guys know. But I'm anticipating that this guy's going to be happy, and I probably won't be hearing from him for a long time unless he wants something else done. Back at the shop now, just kind of going over everything, making sure it's all good. Buddy's going to come pick up this truck right away. So just my overall impression on the kit is that it's good kit. It's good for the price. It will get you rid of that VGT turbo. I would be really interested in trying one of their bigger turbos, like 64 mil would be cool. Like I said, this is just 62, so it's essentially a stock replacement that's non-VGT. But everything looks good, everything, not really any hiccups. If you watch the install video, I had a hiccup on the oil drain, the turbo oil drain tube. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If I forgot to mention anything in this video, I will put it in the description, and I'll also link in the description to the install video where I go over this a lot more thoroughly, and you can see if it's something you want to do on your own. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Thanks to Smeding Diesel for making this kit. I'm glad I could do a video on it. I'm glad I could try out their products. I actually bought a Smeding Diesel turbo for that truck too, my 2nd gen. I was like, might as well, if they're shipping one turbo out to me, might as well save money on the shipping and ship one out for the 2nd gen as well. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that if you're looking at this video because your truck has a bad turbo, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Just know that this is a great option for you if you want to just get that reliability. Like I said, the only downside with a non-VGT turbo is you lose that exhaust brake. But honestly, these turbos are a lot more reliable, and they're just, you know, they've been around forever, right? So I think it's a really good option. Anyways, check out my Instagram at Dark Iron Diesel. I also have TikTok, unless they ban it one of these days. And yeah, links in the description for parts if you live in the States or if you live in Canada. And I think that's it. If I forgot anything, I'll put it down in the description. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.